Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa and welcome back to Misha Miga Reads. Okay, today we are going to go through these stack of books right here. These are all books that I am unhauling. I will be having them listed on my Pangobook account, which is down below in the description. Pangobooks is just a place to buy used books. You can sell books on there as well, and if you sell books, you earn credit back to buy more. So all of these will be listed for you when this is done. So if you're interested, and it's an ambassador link down below, so I believe you save $5 on your first 25 that you spend. So if you want to check it out, it's all down there. The ambassador link, you just click on it, follow the link there, set up an account, and then you're all good to go. All right, the first book is called Touched by an Angel by Jenny Koch, maybe? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. This is the first, I believe this is a whole series. It's a sci-fi series, and I don't know much about it. I just saw it at a used bookstore and thought it looked interesting, and I haven't picked it up to read it since. On the back, here's what it says. It was just another day in Arizona, and then the monster showed up. Marketing manager Catherine, or Kitty, had just finished the day on jury duty when she stepped out on the Pueblo Caliente courthouse. All she was thinking about was the work she had to get caught up on. Then her attention was caught by a fight between a couple, a domestic dispute that looked like it was about to turn ugly. But ugly didn't even begin to cover it when a man suddenly transformed into a huge winged monster right out of a grade Z science fiction movie and went on a deadly killing spree. In hindsight, Kitty realized she probably should have panicked and run screaming the way everyone else around her was doing. Instead, she got mad, searched her purse for a weapon, and armed with a Mott black pen, sprinted into action to take down the alien. In the middle of all the screeching and ensuing chaos, a tall, handsome hunk of a guy in an Armani suit suddenly appeared beside her, examined the body, introduced himself as Jeff Martini with the agency, called out to an Armani-clad colleague to perform crowd control, and then insisted on leading her to a nearby limo to talk to his boss. And that was how Kitty's new life among the aliens began. Touched by an Alien. The next book, Magnolia Parks. Now, I haven't read this either, but I recently picked up the original print of Magnolia Parks, so I no longer need this copy. I'm sure most people know what this is about, but how many loves do you get in a lifetime? Magnolia Parks is a beautiful, affluent, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. B.J. Ballantyne is Britain's most notorious and photographed bad boy who broke her heart, but these two are meant to be, and everyone knows it. Magnolia and B.J. are written in the stars, just suspended in a strange kind of love that looks like hurting each other a lot of the time. She dates other people to keep him at bay. He sleeps with other girls to get back at her for it. But at the end of every sad encounter to get over one another, it's still each other they crawl back to. Finally, after years of this, their dysfunction is catching up with them, pulling at all their seams and fraying the world they've built. And they're not ready to let go. Not yet, at least. As the cracks start to show and secrets begin to surface, Magnolia and BJ are forced to face the formidable question they've all been avoiding their whole lives. How many loves do you really get in a lifetime? And this is also a first book in the Magnolia Parks series. So that one. The next book is called Eleanor, Daughters of the Lost Colony. A journey full of hope ends in incomprehensible tragedy. Escape into a riveting story based on the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. In 1587, Eleanor White Dare sailed from England heavy with her first child but full of hope. Her father, a renowned artist and experienced traveler, has convinced her and her bricklayer husband Ananias to make the journey to the New World. They are promised land more goodly and beautiful than they can ever imagine. But nothing goes as planned, from landing at the wrong location to encounters with the native people to facing starvation to the endless wait for help to arrive. Goodness gracious. And beyond her comprehension, Eleanor finds herself utterly alone and powerless. The colony at Roanoke disappeared into the shadows of history, but what if at least one member survived to leave a lasting legacy? I'm going to put these up together because they are part of the same series. This is book 1 and book 2, Shatter Me and Unravel Me. I really enjoy these. I bought them in the whole series in ebook, so that's why I am listing these for sale on the Pango. I'm just going to read the back of the first one because I don't want to read the back of the second if you hadn't read the first one yet. So, the moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, cratered by imperfections. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. In the electrifying first book in the Shatter Me series, I don't know how you say the author's name, is it Tahira Mafi? Presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. So this is books 1 and 2, Shatter Me and Unravel Me. Next we have All of Us Villains. This is also part, I think it's just a duology. I read this first one and I really didn't have any desire to move on to the second book. The blood moon rises, the blood moon falls, the tournament begins. Every generation, at the coming of the blood moon, 7 families in the remote city of Ivernath each name a champion to compete in a secret tournament to the death. So, kind of Hunger Games kind of feeling. The prize? Exclusive control over a hidden wellspring of high magic, the most powerful resource in the world, one thought long depleted. But this year, a scandalous tell-all book has exposed the tournament and thrust the 7 new champions into the worldwide spotlight. The book also granted them valuable information previous champions never had, insight into the other family strategies and weaknesses, and most important, it gave them a choice: accept their fate or rewrite their legacy. Next is Kiss of Iron by Claire Sager. I absolutely loved this trilogy. I just got different editions of them, so I don't need this first one. This first one is still, I mean, it's a beautiful edition by itself. This isn't anything special edition, but look, every chapter starts with a page like that, and then it goes into the regular white page, black words. So it's a beautiful regular edition. I just got a different edition of the whole set, so I don't need this. Again, I only have this first one. The other 2 that I had were sold, so this is the one that remains. In the cutthroat game of court life, masters manipulate pawns, and you never know which one you are. One thing's certain: there's no space on the board for love. A penniless noblewoman, Kat, is on the verge of losing everything when she's offered a well-paid job that could be her salvation or her ruin. Drawn into court's deadly intrigues, she's given a single task: spy on the powerful Fae lord known as the Night Queen's shadow. Bastian Marwood is handsome, ruthless, and cunning, but Kat can't decide if he's a threat to her kingdom or just her heart. To uncover the truth, she must play a dangerous game of desire and deceit, pushing him to reveal his secrets while protecting her own. But Bastian's shadows have a hold on her, one she isn't sure she wants to escape. So this is book 1, and it's the Shadows of the Tenebrous Court. Next is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Keeping 13. This is the Boys of Tommen. This is book number 2. It's, from my understanding, it's 6 books, but it's 3 sets of duologies. So this one is book 2. So book 1 and book 2 deal with Johnny and Shannon. And then books 3 and 4 is Shannon's brother. And books 5 and 6 is one of the friends. And it's a college, well, not really college, high school rugby. And I can't tell you much about this one. I haven't read this yet. I read the first one. I got rid of it because I wasn't sure what I felt about the first one when I read it. It's hard to read only because she's 15 and he's, I think, 17, and it's very hard knowing their ages when you read this because it's adult. And I'm not just talking about like the spicy scenes, because there isn't any actually in the first one. Just what this girl goes through. Really look up your trigger warnings for this one because it may trigger some. I wasn't expecting it, but just knowing that she was 15, I had to forget that in order to fully enjoy it. But we're following Shannon and, what did I say, Johnny. She was bullied in public school. She begged her mom to send her to this private school. Her mom agreed, but had to work all the time in order to afford it. She lives at home with her abusive father. He is abusive to her and her mother. And this is just their story. Shannon's story with Johnny. And I will tell you, if you get through the first one, you're going to be mad at how it ends. And you're going to want to go right into book 2. I have not done that yet, but very good. So, keeping 13. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Hendricks. Brady Hendricks, I think is his first name. So, I liked it. I read it. This is my second Brady Hendricks book. It's better than the first one I read. It was enjoyable. It was not what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more spooky, scary. Can we appreciate the cover, though? It looks like an old VHS case. For those of us old enough to remember VHS tapes. But it's exactly what it sounds like. You read about the main character, Gretchen, and Abby, and their experience with one of them being possessed and having to do an exorcism. One Tuesday Morning by Karen Kingsbury. I do believe this is part of a series. I'm not sure how many books are in the series. One Tuesday Morning. What I remember, I didn't get through the whole thing because I wasn't sure if I was, even now, if I was ready for it. It is a 9/11 story about a firefighter and a lawyer, I believe, in their story as it unfolds. I believe that, if I remember, there's a connection between them. Let's see. The last thing Jake Bryan knew was the roar of the World Trade Center collapsing on top of him and his fellow firefighters. The man in the hospital bed remembers nothing. Not rushing with his teammates up the stairway of the South Tower to help trap victims, not being blasted from the building, and not the woman sitting by his bedside who says she is his wife. Jamie Bryan will do anything to help her beloved husband regain his memory, and with it, their storybook family life with their small daughter, Sierra. But that means helping Jake rediscover the one thing Jamie has never shared with him, his deep faith in God. So I'm sure it's good, but I'm sure it's a hard read, and I just wasn't wanting to read about it. So, right, the next is all 3 of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So we have Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. This is from Lee Bardugo, and I will just read the back of the first one because, again, I don't want to read the back of the others to spoil anything. So, Soldier, Summoner, Saint. Orphaned and expendable, Alina Starkov is a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Elena unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Now Elena will enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. He believes Elena will summon a force capable of destroying the Shadowfold and reuniting their war-ravaged country, but only if she can master her untamed gift. I remember reading the first one, and it was good. I think this is YA, and I'm not always into YA, and I know that after this, there's a whole other set, like 6 of Crows or something. I'm don't have those, or I did. Maybe I did. But anyway, I just wasn't interested in continuing. The next one is Candy Cane Murder by Joanne Fluke. This whole series is really good. It's like a cozy mystery series. You follow Hannah Swanson, and she owns a little cookie store in this small town, and she's always stumbling across murder victims, and she inserts herself into the investigation to try to solve them. So every book has a new murder, and she always gets herself involved. But what really makes these fun and different is that every so often they will throw a recipe in the actual book. Here's one. Well, it's baking conversion charts. But let's see. Yeah, here we go. Candy cane bar cookies. Candy cane bar cookies. So I'm sure they talk about this cookie in the book, but there's actual recipes. And I think you can actually buy a recipe book of all the recipes that are in this whole series. But I don't have any of the other physical books, in this series. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one. But and I don't know how many books there are, 20 something. They're all very, very good. The next book is called The Furies by Katie Lowe. You'd kill to be one of them. Okay, that's all it says on the back. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. On the inside. In 1998, a 16-year-old girl is found dead. She's posed on a swing in her boarding school's property, dressed all in white with no known cause of death. Whispers and rumors swirl with no answers, but there are a few who know what happened. There is one girl who will never forget. So that's called. I've just had it. It does actually sound pretty good, but this has just been sitting around collecting dust, and I have so many others to get to that I'm just going to pass this on. All right, the next one is called Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Neffeninger. I tried. I don't know if that's correct. I apologize if it is not. She's the same person that wrote The Time Traveler's Wife. And this book is about, let's see, it doesn't really say. That's all about the author. Is there anything about this book? Well, okay. I'm not sure what this is about. Her Fearful Symmetry. Why is that so hard to say? All right. Next is called Fierce Little Thing by Miranda Beverly Whitmore. Yeah, Whitmore. Saskia was a lonely teenager recovering from tragedy when she arrived at the lakeside Maine commune called home. She was entranced by the tang of sourdough starter, the midnight call of the loons, and the triumph of foraging mushrooms. Abraham, home's charismatic leader, made her feel special for surviving her past, not because he pitied her. And in the 4 other teen homesteaders, she'd found a group of best friends who would do anything to stay together and protect their idol from ideal, from an outside world that didn't understand. Two decades later, Saskia is estranged from the others. In fact, she's been shuddering in her Connecticut estate for years when her carefully wild life is torn open by threatening letters. Unless she and her former friends return to the land in rural Maine, the terrible thing that they did as teenagers will be revealed. Fierce Little Thing. That again sounds pretty good, but again, it's just one of those that has been sitting on my shelf for a while. So I will go ahead and list this. And last, but certainly not least, is a Clive Cussler book called Valhalla Rising. I got this in a date with a book type thing, mystery date with a book type thing. And I'm just not really into his books. I know he's well loved. He's been around for a while. My dad likes him. And it doesn't say much about this except it says the past and the future collide for Dirk Pitt in the most atrocious novel yet from the grand master of adventure fiction. So I think that Dirk Pitt is a character through a lot of his books. So that's Valhalla Rising. All right, guys, that is it. That is all the books that I am unhauling. They will be available on my Pango account, like I said, and in my channel description, I have a link. I'll try to link it down below in the description of this video. It's an ambassador link, so it'll save you $5 for every 25, or for the first 25 that you spend, and it kicks a little bit back to me, I think. But if you're interested, down below, let me know. If you're still here, go ahead and leave me a boat emoji so that I know that you made it to the end of the video. And if you would be so kind as to like, share, and subscribe, that would be very nice, very kind. It's free and it helps me out. So if you could go ahead and do that, that'd be great, guys. Until next time, bye.